Hello, I'm Karen. Welcome to my channel, All Things Beautiful, showing forth the beauty and the love of God. In my previous videos, part 1 and 2, I tell about a car wreck that I was in 1996. Part 1 goes more into detail about how I actually died in that car wreck. Part 2 talks about 2 weeks after surgery, a life threatening situation came up when, after the surgery, spinal fluid was trying to come out of my nose, and the Lord healed me. So, if you get a chance, watch part 1 and part 2. Today, in part 3, I want to talk about 4 weeks after surgery. My former boss called me back to work early. He needed help, and I was home recuperating, trying to recover from the surgery, but he needed me to come back. Thankfully, my doctor had shaved my head, but he left me some bangs so that I could wear hats. And that way, no one knew that my head was shaved. And it took a while for my hair to grow back. So I went back to work, and sure enough, it was too early. The spinal fluid tried to come back again, and fear tried to come over me. And I was like, no, no. The Lord healed me, and I stood on His word. His word works. He's not a man that He should lie. So I told my boss that I needed to go back home and recuperate some more. And so I went home and I prayed and I said, Lord, this is trying to come back again. I need a word to stand on because the devil's not going to steal my miracle, uh, the healing that you gave me. And so the devil's a liar. He will try to come and steal a blessing, a miracle, a word that the Lord gives. You just have to stand firm. So I prayed and asked God for another word to stand on. And I went to the mailbox, and there was a magazine in there from Marilyn Hickey. And in there, she had from the Bible the scripture Nahum 1:9. And it says, affliction shall not rise up a second time. Well, this was the second time that spinal fluid was trying to return. And I knew that that was my word to stand on, that affliction shall not rise up a second time. But I knew it was going to be a fight. Uh, so the boys had bunk beds at the time. And I got a card and I wrote that scripture on it. And I crawled up on the top of that bunk and taped it to the ceiling. And I laid there on that top bunk for 3 days straight, flat on my back, quoted that scripture, meditated on that scripture, prayed it, and believed and stood on that scripture. And sure enough, 3 days later, there was no spinal fluid. So don't be moved if the enemy tries to come back and take what the Lord has given. He's a liar. 6 months after the initial car wreck, I was released from the doctor, and I met with the insurance company to sign off to release them from any further liability. The same day that I signed, a friend of mine and we went to Fort Worth to the Southwest Believers Convention. And as we were sitting there watching or listening, I turned my head just slightly, and when I did, it was so weird. It sounded like bone rubbing against bone. I can't explain it. It was a cracking, rubbing noise, sound within my head, but I heard it. There was no pain, but fear tried to go all over me. I was thinking, oh gosh, here today I signed off on the insurance company to not hold them liable. What am I going to do? And then I thought, no, that's just the enemy trying to come and steal what God has done previously. So the next morning, we went back, and Jesse Duplantis was the speaker for that morning. And as, I don't know, 5-10 minutes into his sermon, he stopped and he said, I just now remembered. He said, the Lord woke me up last night and said there's somebody who was in an accident And he said, it's hard to describe, but when you turn your head, it's like bone rubbing against bone. And I knew that that was for me. And so I don't know how I got from the balcony to the platform so fast, but I did. I don't remember people, stairs, chairs, anything. I just was there. And the moment he laid hands on me and prayed, I felt the power of God so strong. That was 27 years ago. And not one time has the enemy tried anything with either the spinal fluid, the bone on bone, anything. God completely healed me from that car wreck. I just want to say, God is so good. There is nothing impossible with Him, nothing too hard for Him. And don't be moved if the enemy tries to come and steal, because you've just got to dig in and stand firm. Stand on His word. His word works, it does not return void. Well, I want to thank you for watching. And in my next videos, I'd like to share God's supernatural provision. Over the years, oh my goodness, He has been amazing how He has supernaturally provided for us, and in ways that I still stand amazed at some of the things that He has done for us. Uh, get a chance, watch video 1, 2, and this is part 3. And if you could, to help the algorithm for YouTube, if you could like, share, comment, and subscribe, that would sure help this channel out. And if you need prayer, I would love to pray for you. Feel free to email me at allthingsbeautiful444@gmail.com. And thanks again for watching, and you just have a lovely day. And remember to look for all things beautiful and be blessed. Thank you. Bye-bye.